Buongiorno. Does that mean good day or good night? Oh no, I think good night is buonasera. Okay, so I meant the first one. Buongiorno. Hello, everybody. Or yeah, I guess I said that already. And actually, I just recently found out, because I learned French in school, so I just recently found out that bonjour actually doesn't mean hello. It means good day. And I've been using it ever since. I feel like good day, it sounds rude in English. Like if someone's like talking to you and like being annoying, you're like, okay, good day. Like bye. Which I guess isn't, I thought it meant hi, but you know what I mean. I like using it as bye. So if you say it in English, they might look at you weird. Like you don't know your English, but they don't know that you're being a little bit rude. Because they're like, bonjour, like we've been having a 10-minute conversation. But you really said, good day. Either way, welcome to the 102nd. What would be what's 100 in French? I'll just say the numbers. 102 episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. There was a kind of a technical, not a malfunction, but like we kind of tested the limits of Apple Podcasts, because when last episode came out, which would be episode 101, I went on the podcast app just to, make sure everything was good. And it said that we only had 100 episodes. And I had a mini, not a panic, but a mini, like oopsie daisies. Like, did I just record like a full episode saying that it was the 101st episode when that really was the 100th episode, in which case that the episode I thought was 100 was actually only 99, which is even more embarrassing. Luckily, none of that was true. We had just reached the maximum of what my settings were for the distribution of the Nobody Asked This podcast. So don't worry, I fixed that. And don't worry even more, because it was not something I had to pay for. I'd really try and keep this, a low-cost experience. I've talked about this before, but when we first started, I did buy two. Okay, I really hope that it was total $50 for two. I think it might have been $50 each. No, I wouldn't have done that. I don't know. I spent some money on some microphones that, as heavily detailed on every episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast, I record this on my phone. So don't really know why I did that purchase. Also, Jeff Bezos, if you want to give me a refund. I don't actually remember where I put the microphones, but if you just want to do an action of good faith, maybe like I could issue a tax receipt for you, I would definitely take a refund. Because they didn't work and they were bad. And I was too lazy to set them up every episode. So it really was the perfect storm. But yeah, that's sort of my life. I hope everyone has had a great week. We're coming off of a long weekend. That didn't feel super long, I have to be honest. I feel like sometimes on a long weekend, it'll be like the Sunday, and I still think it's Saturday, because like it kind of is Saturday, because if you have Monday off, then Monday becomes Sunday. But this weekend, like every day felt like the day, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily. But like I do like waking up on the Monday thinking, ugh, here we go again. And it's like, no, you get an extra day off. And what's really fun about a long weekend is that Tuesday, you think it's Monday, and it's actually Tuesday. So, like, while I record this today, it's almost Friday, and I've only worked one day. Because we like to keep the output at a minimum, Just kidding. But, again, I hope everyone had a great long weekend. If you got one, if you have one coming up, that's great. I really would have loved to come on here today and talk about how spring had sprung and summer was coming, and we're about or exactly a month out from summer. So I was really excited about that. And then I woke up the past 3 days to scorching rain. I don't know if rain is scorching, but it was like heavy rain, not a drizzle, not like a light dew. It was buckets of rain. And I have to say, I felt like I had to complain about it. But if you really ask me in my heart of hearts, like, do you care about the scorching rain? Like, no, I kind of like it. It's a bit, moody, especially on a weekend where, like, I didn't have to do anything. Like, all the poor people that had, like, parties planned, or, maybe it was your birthday coming up. Like, that sucks that you probably had to do a plan B, an indoor version of what your plan A outdoor version party was going to be. Because here's the thing, a couple times, like, you'll do a party and then it starts to rain and it's like, oh, no big deal. Like, who cares? Like, especially if you've grown up somewhere where, like, it rains, like, or I guess, yeah, like, if you're just used to the rain, sure. But then you don't really think of the logistics. Like, then your tortilla chips start to get a little bit soggy. Maybe you have, like, a big picture of lemonade and it gets, like, drizzled down. And then, like, not that we do this because this is bad, but if you had, like, paper plates, those are all soggy, which I guess is what you get for using disposable cutlery, like, figure it out. Just stuff like that you don't think of. Or you have to wear, like, have you ever been to an amusement park when it was a bit rainy? Which is actually kind of the time to go. Obviously not scorching rain, but if it's a bit sprinkly, like, a lot of people won't go, so it'll be less busy, and it really doesn't impact that much. Like, I feel like my fear would be if you're at a rainy amusement park that all of the rides would, like the water would get into, like, the motherboard or whatever of the roller coaster that's going to spin you upside down 4 times and then, like, glitch. That's not happened yet. But my point being is I would see people walking around in garbage bags. And I was like, hey, that's what I do. No. But I was like, that's kind of genius. Like, I need to get what I want for Christmas. Because I think that's the next appropriate gift-giving opportunity for me. Although I'm getting to an age where it's like, just get your own presents. Like, people ask, oh, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't really, like, if I wanted something that badly, I could just buy it. And the problem is I don't need much. But what I do need is one of those, is it called a Muddy Buddy? I get them confused with the Chex-Mix snack with the powdered sugar. Muddy Buddy, let's see. Yes, it's those little, it's those, like, almost looks like spacesuits that little kids wear. I need an adult version of that. And then I'll wear it if it rains or not. Either or. It's very versatile. I have to cough because I feel like my voice is sounding like strep throat and I don't have it. So one sec. Okay, we're back. Hopefully that's better. The reason I sound a bit guttural, is that what it's called? Let's Google what that word means because I use it a lot. I should probably know. Guttural. Produced in the throat. Harsh sounding. Exactly. That's me. That will be the title of this episode. Let's just mark that down. The reason I sound guttural is because this is the first recording in a while that is in the AM as opposed to the PM. Well, okay, not really. I've recorded around this time before. I'll give you just behind the curtain. It's when I started this recording, it was 9:10 a.m. And I've started recording at that time, but I've normally been up for a couple hours, had some coffee, maybe if it was an off day, had some tea, which I don't really do. I've talked to people, I've maybe screamed, I had a few angry phone calls. So it, like, really, like, exercises the vocal cords. Whereas I was, like, asleep an hour ago. Like, a lot of the times if I've recorded in the morning, I've been through traffic. So that sort of breeds a lot of yelling. I'm not someone with road rage. I think partially because I usually leave way before I have to be somewhere. So I have, like, a buffer where it's like, I don't really need to get there, like, right on time. So I'm never in a rush, which is nice. I actually highly recommend it. I think if you're, like, constantly in a rush, like, it can't be peaceful, If you arrive somewhere, even if you're stressed out about what you have to do there, arriving calm, collected, you're going to fare a lot better than if you arrive there like running through the door, holding your jacket when it's pouring rain, dropping your wallet on the way, and then having to go back and collect it. Not that that's happened to me yesterday, but that would sound stressful. So take it from me. Wake up 20 minutes earlier. I know sometimes you need your sleep, and obviously everyone's situation's different, so if this advice doesn't apply to you, don't take it. I'm obviously not a life coach person, which I have actually questions about life coaches, but I would just set that alarm 20 minutes earlier and just think of the peace of mind you'll have arriving on time or even 5 minutes earlier. Okay, now to life coaches. What is the qualification for that? I'm not saying they're fake. I'm not saying they're wrong. I think lots of different people can give advice. I actually think, I don't know if I agree with myself. I was going to say, I feel like you could be a life coach and like help guide someone through situations that maybe you yourself haven't been necessarily a part of. I think as long as you've been in like a similar situation or like have felt the same conflict, because a lot of what people go through is just like a specific version of something bigger, if that makes sense. So like maybe the situation's not the same, but you've had to maybe choose between like work or family, or like, I don't know, maybe you've been on The Bachelor, you have to pick between two people, but you know what I mean? Like you can kind of like zoom out a bit and say like, oh, I've been in a similar situation where I've had to balance these two things. So I guess in that way you could be a life coach for something you haven't gone through, but I don't know. I really don't know what I'm saying. I just need to know, is there life coach school? 1. How much does it cost? 2. And then how much does it cost if you want to hire a life coach? And then what is the difference between a life coach and a therapist? Let's Google that last question. And again, I'm not knocking the career. I'm curious. What is the difference between life coaching and therapy? I'm thinking like life coach is more, you're like future oriented, whereas therapy can sometimes be a bit like you're talking about the past. A life coach emphasizes what steps to take to progress towards certain objectives. In contrast, therapy is present oriented and focuses on the past. I'm literally a genius. That's what I said. I did not read that before. Okay, what is the schooling for life coach? Let's see. There are life coaching degrees. Okay. This program's 4 months. Okay. I'm honestly just fascinated. Okay, cool. Life coach. Although I feel like you could either, if hiring a life coach, I would look at two things. I would say like, did you get your life coaching degree, or like, have you seen some things? And if you've seen some things, I don't think the schooling matters. It's sort of like at a job, you can either have experience or schooling. I actually think the experience is more important. So I would apply that to life coaching if anyone was looking to get into life coaching or to get a life coach. I truly don't know how this came up, but I sort of rode the wave. Anyway, something I did want to talk about. I've been seeing this a lot on YouTube Shorts, which, don't hate me, I have YouTube Shorts. I don't have TikTok. I have an Instagram, like a personal Instagram. I don't ever post on it, which is so funny because I'm like, yeah, who cares about my pictures? Like, people don't need to hear from me. And then I literally record a half an hour voice note of myself talking about nothing and apply it or download it onto the internet, or whatever the word is, post it onto the internet. So I guess I do think that people care about me. I don't know. It's really quite a conflict because my whole thing is like, oh, who cares? Like, why? Like, you know, everyone who does like, oh, hey, everybody, sorry I haven't posted for a few days, but they have like 50 subscribers or 50 followers. It's like, no one noticed you didn't post. So I'm also that person, but then I'm also the person that has consistently done a podcast that gets very low numbers for almost 2 years. So it's like, can I be both people? I guess I am. I think because no one listens, it's more of like just like a fun exercise for me. not so much me like really wanting to inform the masses. So I think that's how I justify it in my head, but it is kind of funny. So I just wanted to state that irony. If that is the definition of irony, I don't actually know. Regardless, I've been on my YouTube Shorts. And for anyone that doesn't know, YouTube Shorts, from my understanding, is essentially like screen recordings of TikToks that went viral 4 to 6 months ago. So I'm quite behind. I don't really do the random scrolling on YouTube Shorts, but if I'm on YouTube and it comes up, I'll do some, just check out to see what the people are doing. It's so much, can I tell you, it's so much banana pudding recipes. Because a month or two ago, I was like, I wanted to make banana pudding because it sounded delicious, and I'd had it a couple times before, and you like can't really find it where I am. Like you can't really go to a store or a bakery and buy banana pudding. So I was like, I guess I'll have to do it myself. And happily do it myself. Even though I feel like in my head, if you make something, it's cheaper than if you buy it, but not really. Because by the time you've bought, the box of cookies, the thing of whipped cream, I think it was like condensed milk, the package of pudding, like all of that stuff isn't that expensive, but it's like 4 or 5 things that are like around $2, $3, $4 each. But if you add that up, like you might as well just go to the bakery and buy a banana pudding, but I cannot do that. So I have no choice. But if you had a choice in this situation, I almost feel like just buy it. And I think that way about takeout food sometimes. Sometimes I'll want something really specific, and I'll say, no, I can do it. Like, I can buy it. Or sorry, I can make it. And then I'll buy all the stuff to make it, and it's like $30. When for $30, I could have just got it, like even gotten it delivered and been able to leave like a nice tip for around that, maybe a bit more. And you didn't have to go through all the work. Like, your time is money. Anyway, all I'm seeing are banana pudding recipes. So if anyone wants a good banana pudding recipe, ask me, not because I have one personally, but because I've literally seen them all. I've seen strawberry banana pudding. I've seen caramel banana pudding. I've seen crunchy banana pudding. I've seen, different types of cookies banana pudding. I've seen butterscotch banana pudding. I've seen shortbread banana pudding. I've seen like a tiramisu butter pudding. Butter pudding, banana pudding. Have I been saying butter pudding this whole time? If I did, anytime I said the word butter, replace it with banana. Regardless, what I'm noticing from at least the influencers on my YouTube Shorts, is we used to say, swipe up. They used to say, swipe up, go to the link in my bio. What other like language did they use? It was a lot of like, use code this for that. Now the new thing is everyone's telling you to go to their Amazon storefront. Now, I don't know what an Amazon storefront is at all. I know what Amazon is. I know that I'm trying to maybe not lean on them as much just because, shop local. But listen, like we all do it. And we all try and stop. And I think we need to keep going in the direction of, shop local. But listen, every once in a while, you need something quick. You don't have time to get to the store. And if, a tube of hair gel can be at your door in 3 hours, it's kind of hard to beat. But regardless, what is an Amazon storefront? I'm actually going to Google this live. Amazon storefront. See, the good thing about this podcast is anytime I'm like busy, which listen, like I'm never too busy to do anything. Like I would just sleep 20 minutes less, which would go against my thing from the beginning about not being tired and late. But listen, life happens. Anytime I'm too busy, this is really a good opportunity to just Google stuff that I had questions about for half an hour. And I'm almost multitasking. Okay, I'm on Amazon.com, but it's like a subheading, Creator University. Okay, how to set up your storefront. Right, but is there like a what is it first? Build your page. Update your profile picture. Okay, so they're showing me, it almost looks like a Instagram, and then you can follow. Okay, so what I have assessed from this current situation is an Amazon storefront is essentially like Instagram on Amazon, where you make a profile, you have a profile picture, and you just post all the stuff you're buying from Amazon. Is that correct? Do you have to have bought in it? See, that would be a good way to be like, oh, you really like it? Like, have you bought it? Because I feel like sometimes people, just talk about stuff for the check, which I can't fault them for that. But it is nice to know that, like, it's something they actually use. Okay, do I have to set up an Amazon storefront now? Am I considered a creator? I shouldn't be. I should definitely not be. I don't create much. But if everyone has it, I would like to get involved. Especially if this is more like cutting edge. So I can be like, check out my storefront. What would be on my Amazon storefront? Hot Cheetos, for sure. And then like snacks, but flavors that I can't get around me. So like a hot Cheeto lime, for sure, would be on my Amazon storefront. What else would be on my Amazon storefront? Books that I probably haven't read, but have bought, would definitely be on my Amazon storefront. Hair gel, throw it up in the Amazon storefront. Board games, so like any sort of like old like TV show, like a Family Feud or Jeopardy or like Minute to Win It, if anyone remembers that show. Grocery games, any sort of television show, competition show that has a corresponding board game. Sign me up for that. Love those. What else would be on my Amazon store? Cereal. Love cereal. What else? Apparently, those vanilla wafers that I'm going to put in all the banana puddings that I'm making. Love that. If I could find a way to get donuts on my Amazon storefront, I would do that. I would also need to put screen protectors, phone screen protectors on my Amazon storefront. I don't want to give too much away, but just as we talk this through, I crack my phone a lot. I've heavily detailed the green line going down the right side of my phone that has been on my phone since October and I haven't switched yet. Which you would think, oh, okay, you like screen protectors so much. Like, why is your phone so busted? The screen protector's fine. When I drop my phone, the time that did it under, although not really under because I'm still using it, but the time that made the green line appear, my actual screen protector was fine. The phone underneath it cracked. So I don't know if that says like positive things about the screen protector or negative things, because it's like, okay, yeah, you protected yourself. It's kind of like it did airplane strategy. Do you know how on the airplane in the safety announcement, they're like, put on your own oxygen mask before you put on like even like a family member's oxygen mask, which, okay, hard to do in practice, I'm sure. Like if you like just really want to help like a family member or like your, God forbid, like your child, like I feel like you would do your child first, but they're trying to tell you like if you can't breathe, you can't help someone else to breathe. That's what my screen protector did. When it saw me drop it into a pile of rocks, by accident, mind you, but when it saw that it was happening, it said, listen, it's every screen protector for itself, or every screen for itself, every plate of glass for itself. So again, I still haven't worked out if that is good or bad. But okay, what else would be on my Amazon storefront? Frozen yogurt, I would like to put on my Amazon storefront. Seasoning. I don't know if I've fully talked about this, but I have very poor taste buds, so I need to put a lot of seasoning on anything I eat, just to barely taste it. Hot sauce would be on my Amazon storefront. Sprinkles for the frozen yogurt. Did I say frozen yogurt? I think so. I would also like, I have a lot of DVDs. I would like that. It looks like a laptop at the bottom, like where a keyboard would be on a laptop. It's like the CD drive. I would like that so I can watch all my CDs. I need another, when I said CD, I meant DVD. But now I actually need a CD wallet. Do you know that like book pamphlet thing where it's like sheets and sheets of CDs? I need that for my car because I've officially ran through my first one. And anyone wondering like why in the year 2024 do you need a CD thing for your car? It's because my car does not have an aux. Actually, no. So the car that I was driving, like my car, did not have an aux. And then I have a new car that has an aux, but the aux doesn't work. And I thought, you know what? That's not a problem because I have CDs. So when I had the car that didn't have an aux, I bought a bunch of CDs. I went to Value Village. I said, "What do you got?" And it's worked out quite well. But I filled that CD wallet thing. It's not called a CD wallet. What is it called? A CD binder. And I'm in need of a new one. So that's where I'm at with that. I think that's a good start to my storefront. So I have to put this into the universe. I have to manifest that I will one day be worthy of having an Amazon storefront and have enough followers that I can say, it's on my storefront. Oh, there's a dog. Did that dog come through? I think it might have. Okay, what else is happening this week? I mentioned it briefly earlier, but we are almost at the 2-year anniversary of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to be as annoying about the 2-year anniversary as I was about the 100th episode, because that, for some reason, just felt like it felt like my big break. But it's exciting, nonetheless. 2 years, it's pretty cool. And I couldn't have done it without myself. Just kidding, kind of. But I had a lot of help in the beginning. I had my best friend co-host the first, I want to say 6 or 7 episodes, and I would not have done this if not for her help. So her and myself are really the champions of the Nobody Asked This podcast. So yeah, 2 years, crazy times. Time is just flying. Although it actually does feel like 2 years. Arguably feels like 4, which is so funny that time is like that. I feel like 2020 to 2022 went by really fast, and then like 2022 to now, I'm gonna need it to pick up the pace. Just a scooch, and maybe that's a me thing. Maybe that's not like a global thing, but yeah, we're heading into the summer, which is exciting for me because that means that the sooner the summer gets here, the sooner it can end, and then fall can start. And then really once we hit September and we get everything pumpkin flavored, and then Halloween, and then we go into like, there's obviously Thanksgiving, Christmas, like it's just the best time of year. And we're not that far out from it. If you think about it, we're a month away from being halfway to literal Christmas, and then Christmas lasts like 2 months, at least to me. Christmas starts 2 months before. So with math, it's like a couple weeks away. I think I start buying candy corn in July. So that's literally 2 months away, which is nothing. That's only 8 episodes of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I like to count time in episodes of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. It just makes it fun. Because there are some weeks where I'm like, how is it time to record another episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast? And it feels like time has flown. Even though like the days don't feel like they fly. You know what I mean? Do you know when it's like, wow, that was a fast month, but like each day felt like 4 days? I fear I've started to ramble, which kind of is the point and the business strategy behind the Nobody Asked for This podcast. Also, do you like how I say the full name every time? I'm never like the podcast, or because there's not really a way to shorten it. Like, what am I supposed to call it? Nobody? I guess I could. Nobody asked. N-A, nobody asked for this. N-A, nobody asked. F-T. NAFT. Isn't that like a government thing? Anyway, I'm going to let you all go. But I hope everyone had a great long weekend. If there's a long weekend in your future, I hope it's a good one. I hope everyone is ready for the countdown to summer. I hope you apparently stay dry if it's as rainy as it is where I am. I want to let you know that if you want to hear more of the Nobody Asked For This podcast, you can go to podcast.nobodyaskforthis. Wait, I do this every time. Let me check. I think it's podcast.nobodyaskforthis.podbean. Good thing no one listens. Actually, maybe that's why I don't have many listeners, because I'm sending them to the wrong place. No, that is incorrect. Okay. No, I know what it is. It's podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com. I'll get it right at some point. And on that website, podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com, you can find links to our all the places. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Pie. What else? Listen, if you're listening to this, you already know how to find us because you're hearing me. So, but for the ritual, I will let everyone also know you can find us on YouTube. We have an Instagram. Listen, we have an Instagram. We have a Twitter. It's just, I will one day go through. Actually, that would have been a good thing to do on this past long weekend where I was staring at the wall. I will go through and update everything, but it honestly, just to be real between me and you, like, it was just a little bit too sad to be like tweeting to no one. It's much less sad to be talking to no one. And with that, I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.